All right, it's working. Okay, all right. Okay. I just every day, man. It's like a test. All right, so guys, Keepin It. David Fox here, the Black Belt Realtor with the Keepin It Real Estate Podcast. We have my man Jordan Bobbitt. Jordan, how we doing?
It's a wonderful morning, doing good.
Fantastic. And Jerry Bobbitt
Good
as
morning,
well.
everybody.
You know, I'm glad you're here because it'd be kind of awkward going live under your account if you weren't here. So
This is the first time for us.
Okay, all right. So welcome, you guys. Do me a favor. Let me know how the audio video is going on. Is it good? Can you hear us, sound us? Do we look good? Meaning the quality. I know that we're not the prettiest bunch that you're going to see.
Speak for yourself.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So we are going to start off. First, we're going to start off with some tales from the trenches. And who wants to go first? Jordan, you said you had one. Are you checking the audio? How do we sound? Is it good?
Everything looks good.
Okay, fantastic.
Really quick.
You said you had a tales from the trenches.
It wasn't more tales. It was just a funny story about Taylor, our boy.
Our
We're
friend.
listening. Who's Richard?
Our boy,
Dude,
Richard.
this guy. You know, you know what's gonna get him is he's overly confident.
Yeah.
If he was just doing
Staying
his
under
thing,
the radar.
if he was staying under the radar, like he'd be all right.
But I think-
but he's dude. He's gonna have to.
Oh, I've got so many things.
He's
recorded
gonna have
and-
to like delete everything. He's gonna have
Too
to go
late. I've already
back.
got it saved.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
impossible.
I mean, it's gonna get. Do you know who Wes Watson is?
The name sounds familiar.
He's the like criminal alpha male guru
Oh,
guy.
sure.
Like, okay, well now he's going back to prison for beating his wife, and he was overly confident about A, B, and C. Richards, that dog will have his day, dog.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it's just funny because, like I was telling a little bit pre-show, I was on his live trying to get a call with him because he just won't.
Does he take live calls?
Yeah, he does.
How can he take live? How can we do that? Hold up, he takes live like Dave Ramsey. Like he'll take in a live call
He'll just say, yep, call me up or join my
on
live
a
or
phone
whatever.
call.
Yeah, he's done that before.
I got to figure out how to do that. Continue.
Yes,
All right.
so that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I mean that's sweet, dude. That'd be sweet.
He would just say, hey, call this number. I'll call because he's on a computer doing his live and call the number. So I would have just called the number, but of course.
How does he vet them? I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
I got to
I don't
think
know.
logistically. I'm putting it on my list. Keep going.
I don't know. But anyway, so I was trying. He's like, yeah, we'll get you on a call because what I do isn't a scam, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, just let me know. He's like, well, I got to finish this segment of the show, then we'll get to you. So I let him finish the segment of the show, and I'm still in there like, okay, waiting. And he proceeds to, like I said, go from, yeah, let's get you on a call because what I do isn't a scam to, hold on, I'm a little busy to, yeah, this guy's, a couple more steps. Yeah, this guy's a complete scam. Don't listen to him. I'm not going to give this guy, this time of day, blah, blah, blah.
How long was the show?
I only stayed on for like 5 minutes. I'm not.
Oh, that's fast. Like that from.
No. He was quick with it. It was like every 30 seconds it was something new. Like, oh yeah, I'll give you a call, or I'll get you on the call.
I have to see how that works. Like it's TikTok Live, because TikTok Live's different, right? Like we're using computer. I don't think you can go live on TikTok from a computer. Like I don't think
should
you
be
can
able to.
I don't. Yeah.
If not, he just has 2 phones on.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave's still stuck on the phone call.
Well, because I think that's cool, right? Because then you
just call. You just like if I were to call somebody, put him on speaker.
Yeah, and you could. That's
all he's
dangerous.
Wild. That's I mean that is. I mean I suppose if I didn't care who we let on or what they said, then sure.
Well, and that's
but then you get some dude.
Well, like you said, he's over.
Better be quick with
the thing is.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, we lost the call. Okay.
The thing with him is, I think he has to be overconfident for social media because he gets his business from his little, I call them, peons or minions, whatever you want to call them. I mean, he's got people in different countries literally just calling people on Zillow. And as soon as he gets somebody that might, then they forward him the number and he takes it over. So I think he has to be overly confident in order to mislead the people that he's misleading. But yeah, he tried calling his quote unquote lawyers on the call. And I'm like, dude, it's plain as day. Like you can go straight to the act. I even got the subsection.
No lawyer is going to publicly say the sub. Well, he's not even doing sub 2. He's doing. You're selling it to a trust, right? And he's saying we do this every day. You know, someone
Yeah.
dies. It's not for one. How that works when someone passes is not how he's doing it.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, there's the bank, dude, call up the bank. Just be like, hey, I'm going to do this. And they're going to say, okay, your loan's due then.
Yeah.
But every time.
So even if, because like I said, I went through the section and there was like maybe one way where he might be able to, again, I'm not a lawyer. I can't really read the section of the law and interpret it completely fully or whatever. But I'm like, even if, let's say, right, hypothetically, not saying that it is, but even if you could do that legally, at the end of the day, you are screwing the seller when it comes down to it. If I buy into Jerry's trust and I start renting it out, if that renter completely destroys the house and I stop making payments now because, well, the renter destroyed the house, he's not paying me.
You have no claim, right?
You've got no claim.
You have no skin in the game.
That seller, or Jerry in this instance, holds 100% responsible for the loan.
Yeah.
He's it. Not me, because I was added to the trust. I'm saying deuces, peace out. Thankfully, I made a couple $1,000s off you while this thing was rented out, but not my problem anymore. See ya. And I think that's what's going to happen. Is right now he's only been doing it for less than a year.
That's short, huh?
Yeah, so he's not been doing it for
No
years.
way.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
only been doing it for like a year and a half.
Really?
Like that. So he's like, oh, I've got like 20, 30 houses, blah, 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 blah.
My favorite.
Yeah, he's going to get somebody who he loses out on the house, and that's when it's going to come back to bite
My
him.
favorite flex of his was that he came, he was talking to a realtor and he's like, oh, it's real simple. And he's well worded, we'll say. He needs to get rid of his mustache, maybe grow a beard, but he's well worded. And then he's talking to a realtor. He's like, that's pretty slick, man. He's like, yeah, we do it all the time. And then another realtor kicked back. He's like, okay, first off, how many deals are you doing in Ohio? He's like, well, we do nationwide. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Every state has different laws. All right. Secondly, I don't think it's as simple as you're saying. And he's like, well, I have, what did he say? I have 1 million followers on Instagram of people I help this with. That is not a credential to operate, because you have 1 million 19-year-old college students who are desperate for a way out of the rat race. Is not a credential, or 1 million Kenyans. Or Afghans or Indians or Australians or wherever you're getting these Goonies to go and source, which is crazy, by the way. Like that's crazy. That's
because I was just watching his video on the way up, and he's like, "Oh, this is how someone, a 19-year-old in Africa made $15,000," and that was his title of the video.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, you're scamming these people. And that's the thing.
Good for the 19-year-old, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they held to American laws?
I don't know, not really.
Well, then there you go.
So
good for the 19-year-old, I guess.
So with that, he, like I said, I don't even remember what I was going.
You would say that because you're using your followers as a credential for legal behavior, and that's not.
That's
The two don't add up.
No.
They have nothing. it's apples and oranges.
Popularity does not equate to legality.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was on the live with him, and he was saying, "Oh," and this is kind of like what you said. "Oh, I've been doing this and that's when he said about a year and a half. I've got 30 doors. So if I haven't been caught yet, then
that's such a small number.
I'm not. It's not illegal." And I said, "Well, I'll use somebody that we know who got in jail
a lot more than 30 doors.
He was doing hundreds, so much so that the banks written him off before the FBI got involved.
Yeah.
If David Fox is involved in this deal, we're not touching it.
No, I mean,
it's pretty much how
really, it came down to that, and that took. I mean, he did it for 4 years, and he was doing it so bad he was manipulating entire cities.
I remember you telling me about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
it got to the point where, and like Jordan was saying, if his name was on a purchase agreement, appraisal, mortgage, or title work, your biggest banks like Bank of America, Fifth Third,
That's
Chase,
incredible.
there were 5 of them that said if his name is on any document, it's dead.
Are you comfortable? Can we share what that individual was doing? Like, can you kind of share? Because I think it's fascinating. from a arbitrage business standpoint, dude, it's slick. I mean, it is.
Oh, he's not dumb.
It is slick.
He is not a dumb individual.
But
he's a very smart guy.
it is highly illegal. Highly illegal. Can you go into it, or should we?
I mean,
obviously leave names and things out. Right?
I mean, he
it's public. It's public at this point.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
He's already spent his time in jail.
Yeah,
He's
he
out.
did his time. And that's another story. 'Cause
Okay.
I saw him afterwards.
All right.
But anyways, I mean, with him, what he would do was he had money.
Mm-hmm.
He would get straw buyers, and by a straw buyer, I pretty much a homeless anybody. He would pick somebody that didn't have credit. You can temporarily fix credit by challenging anything on it. Mm-hmm. And while that is happening, it's temporarily removed from your credit. Then what he would do, he would run the credit quickly during that period of time.
It's because he was the lender too, right?
He was everything.
He was the
lender, the appraiser.
He was the lender, the appraiser, the real estate
crazy.
agent, and I think he had a title company too.
Again, like as the business, I'm like control it, right? Control every aspect of it. This is crazy.
So he had a mortgage company. He had workers. He would pay everybody just a little bit off the top of the profits on these, and then he would tell the person that I'm fixing your credit. Let's just use Jordan. Jordan had crap for credit. He didn't care. And if I went to Jordan and said, hey, you can live in this house probably up to a year, the way Michigan laws are, before they'll even kick you out.
Yeah.
So you can live in the house for free.
For free. Yeah.
Jordan doesn't care. He's got crap for credit already. Why not? So, and I'll kick you $5,000, right? For letting me do this.
Oh my God.
So he would pay Jordan $5,000, fix Jordan's temporarily, run it, get him approved for the mortgage. Then I almost said his name. Then what this individual would do would buy a house for like $10,000 in Ecorse, Rouge, Inkster didn't. Those were the three really Inkster and Rouge and Ecorse.
Yeah.
He would buy a house for $5,000 and $10,000 because when the market was crashing, that's what they were selling for.
Yeah.
He would buy one, do absolutely nothing to it, then appraise it.
Because he's the appraiser.
Right?
That is such a racket.
He would appraise it a week later as a rehab at $100,000. So now he was making a $90,000 profit. He would pay Jordan his $5,000. He would pay the appraisers off, whatever that were working for him at the time. So he was pocketing a good $80,000 on every transaction. Well, he was doing,
dude. Forget what Richard needs to do. If we're gonna do illegal, get into that, dude.
So
make $80,000.
I mean, it ended up taking 3 years for the FBI to catch up to him.
Oh my gosh!
He ended up doing, I think he got a 7 or a 9 year sentence on it, but he lost everything. He lost his wife. He lost his kids temporarily.
Lose his money?
He lost everything. They froze all his assets. They froze his assets, his wife's assets, his parents' assets, his brother's assets, because
everybody that touched him. Yeah.
So and that's where I was laughing at our boy Taylor, because I'm like, dude, you've been doing this for like a year. You're not doing it at a volume enough where the FBI is gonna be like, this is
30 houses.
Yeah,
it's not gonna get FBI
and spread out over national.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's one state.
This guy was doing it pretty much in United States. In Michigan, there was one other state I heard he was doing it, but nothing came to fruition on it. But here's the sad part.
Yep.
Here's the sad part. I see this guy. We're having an office meeting. I order some food from a local restaurant. I'm coming out with our pans of food, and here he comes. A little bit buffer because he wasn't a big guy. He was about Jordan's size when he went in. Came out more built, more jacked. So he had some free time. And I'm like, said his name, John Smith. I'm like, dude, how you been, man? He's like, not bad, Jerry. He's like, how have you been? I said, good. I told him a little bit about what I was doing, and I said, so what are you up to now? And this is pretty much what he said.
This is crazy.
Well, man, sometimes when you get served lemonade, you got to make lemons out of it. Or lemons, you got to make the lemonade out of it. And he's like, well, I was in there, man. He's like, I made some really good connections. And I'm like, oh, this is going south already. And I learned how to do some stuff in there. And, I can't put stuff in my name, so I got my son helping me out now, and we're working it. And I'm just like, dude,
So now your son's gonna be.
Yeah, he can't put it in his name because he's on too many lists.
How old's the son?
Jordan's age. because we almost went into business together. He had 2 kids, son and daughter.
Oof.
And I had Jordan and Josh, and about 3 weeks before closing on our dude, this was before the crash. We were buying a $300,000 building on Grosseal to open up an office there.
In 2008?
Before,
7?
yeah, somewhere in that area.
Oh wow. Oh.
And so something just wasn't right. And I told Sherry, I'm like, Sherry, I'm just not feeling it. And this is like 2 weeks before building. I mean, we'd already put a $10,000 EMD down on a building.
Wow.
And
that's a huge. I mean, for the time, that's a. Huge
it was,
thing.
but
Yeah.
we were. I mean, he and I were both well qualified. We
Yeah.
were showing we were serious. It was a low offer, but we got it accepted, so we were happy. And I'm like, I just saw some stuff. I'm like, legally, I saw some stuff that I was. It was a red light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm all about riding the line when it comes to taxes.
Sure.
If it's a legal one, but questionable. If we can do it, sure. Well, this was not good. And I just said, sure, I'm not comfortable. And she's like, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. So he and I had a meeting, and I said, man, I'm not feeling it. He goes, good. He goes, because I'm not either.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, I'm not either. He was cool about it. And this is the guy I said, if you had him sitting here, you would trust him with the keys to your house. I mean, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'll eat the 10K, man. Don't worry about it. And he ate the 10K. We went our separate ways, and then literally about a year after that, all this stuff started coming down.
Dude.
So to dodge a bullet, to say that is kindly. And that was it.
That's a crazy tales from the trenches back in the day.
So it doing
a lot of rabbit trails.
Yeah, his little 30 units, and especially going across the country. I mean, you got to get attorney generals involved, the FBI involved.
Yeah, because I mean, that could be one per state. Like you got
not even. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
They got bigger fish
He does.
to fry.
I have seen him. I have seen his attention in Detroit a lot.
He's doing a lot in Michigan, which is what initially caught my attention because I'm like, dude, what are you?
I thought for sure he's been. I thought for sure. Yeah.
I pray he calls on one of our properties.
I
want him to.
I put in an inquiry. I was like, yeah, I'll sell my house to you. I was gonna
buy mine.
I was gonna record. Yeah, sure, 50 cents on the dollar or whatever. He'll put in a trust though.
Yeah.
And I was gonna document the whole thing and have the bank and of course they
won't care.
lacking follow through on that.
Yeah.
So tales from the not nearly the same scale. My story is gonna look really really boring.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah. I messed up this week. That condo. So I was actually traveling, and that condo, that listing, I marked it pending. Right. All right. So I thought, well, in the app, the Paragon app or whatever, I guess you need to go and hit the date. Yeah. So I hit save, and then it didn't take. And then this guy comes and he's like at the place. I was like, wait. I was like, it's pending, right? He's like, no, I didn't. It's not marked. I was like, what? And he drove an hour. I felt terrible. And I'm like, dude, listen, I've had that happen to me. I'm so let me throw you some beer money. And I was like, what's your Cash App? And he sent it to me. I threw him some money.
Yeah.
And he's like, you are the first agent to ever do that. I was like, that sucks. I didn't take or whatever. And he appreciated the gesture. He was cool about it.
And that's all you can ask when it does happen.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Lesson learned on that. We've got a couple of Reddit rundowns, or not explicitly Reddit. We could do social media or whatever. We're gonna start with using AI to, we'll call it, modify listings, right? If you
Kristen
will.
Davis, if you're out there.
Yeah, here's Kristen Davis. Someone tag her. This sounds like this happened recently. So I'm gonna try and share my screen here. Let's see what we got. Oh, you guys can see what I can see. Oh, I don't like that at all. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So we've got this guy says, this dude, David Roberts, did something clever with AI. He takes basic photos from Zillow listings like this and then makes cinematic videos and sells them for $100 to $500 per listing. So here's how he does it. He pulls the videos from Zillow, Redfin, wherever. Pause. Where'd those photos come from? So that's number one. Like someone took those photos.
Yeah, that's copyright.
And lock in a consistent renovation style for the property. So he's got, what is? And then he'll just AI change, there's these renovations. So I wonder how drastic the renovations. It's one thing, I suppose, because I've seen AI furnishings.
Yeah.
Like that's.
You can add furniture.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I've seen that, which is cool. Look at this. I mean, that looks great, man.
So
I'd like to see the before.
each
and after.
MLS has their own set of rules. I will say for our MLS, you can change things like the paint color or the carpet color,
Oh, really?
but you need to have
Disclose
the
it.
original in there and disclose it. So if you have, I went in and I changed the paint color and, I added some fancy whatever, you can do that. You just have to do it. So like in
Do you have to disclose it? Or
you have to
need
disclose it.
Okay,
And
before and after.
you need to disclose it, what
like
you've done.
on the image or in the listing.
So you need to disclose that like with a watermark. Usually,
sure.
that it's
AI
AI
edited.
enhanced,
Yeah, sure.
and then have the original in the pictures too.
That's cool. I have seen that. I wondered why that was because even the ones they furnish, you'll see like unfurnished.
Unfurnished.
Yeah.
So you can do all of that. You're supposed to put in with the furnishings. Sometimes they'll let you give you a break because you're not really changing anything. You're adding in furnishings,
Yeah.
and you still have the whatever. You cannot change anything like permanent to the house. So like or something
So
that
I
can
I
be
can't add an island as a renovation.
correct.
To,
Or like in their, they're doing exterior. You can't add like you've got an overhang porch
is that
now.
what they're- is that what they're
I don't know
doing?
if they did
Yeah,
that.
I'm
But
just
let's say
looking at-
you've got like a bland 2x2 porch, and now all of a sudden you've got this huge wrap around porch with an overhang and blah. Like, no, can that be done? Yeah, sure, but it's not plausible for someone to come
Steve
in.
Hofstetter says, so crime. What he does is a crime.
Yeah, yeah. With what that guy does, that's not allowed.
Hi,
at all.
lawyer here. This is going to violate a lot of state laws, including for unfair and or deceptive trade practices.
Yeah.
Many states have statutory damages and fee shifting provisions on these kinds of laws as well. There's also a number of laws specific to the state of real estate that could be implicated here. As a rule, I would suggest against
Yeah.
representing.
There's a
property
difference between what we used to, back in the day, and I know it's still on the books, what we call puffing, right? You can make the property sound better. You can do things like that, but you can't just come out and downright lie. One thing that Jordan, mentioned was like things you can't remove. If you got power lines in your backyard, you can't remove those.
Yeah, right? I remember we talked about that. That is because that's a pretty big thing,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't move the.
Now, if you've got like a phone sitting on a counter and you need to AI that out,
Sure.
completely
Yeah.
fine. That's not what we're what we're here for. But yeah, no, because there was some people in our area. It's a gas fireplace, and the fire line was around the front of the brick fireplace. Well, they decided to completely remove the gas line in the pictures, and when you get to the house, now you've got this, ugly gas line going in front of your brick fireplace, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can't change that, and if I do, it's going to cost me how many thousands of dollars to do so. So there's certain things like that you can't, the power lines, but for the most part, you just have to disclose.
These comments are wild. It says, David Roberts commits fraud. Clever use of AI. Number 1, this is illegal. 2, it's unethical. 3, and then new comment. 3 and 4, it's contributing to the data center and natural resources problem. Nobody needs it. Come on, man. I'm like, the natural resources problem. I don't know, man.
Well, what they're getting at is
I know
the water consumption that they use for the data
is that
centers.
a thing?
Oh yeah. So
Is that really like?
they use 100,000 gallons in what was it, an hour?
What do you mean? For
to
what?
cool.
No,
to cool the
it's like a
computers.
day, but no. So
What do you mean? Where does the water go?
Some of them are quote unquote cycled, and then some of them are just like, yep, you put the warm water right back into the lake, and I take the cool water out, and it warms the
problem
lake.
is it's
Well,
not going
water
to
can't. Water can't be. It's not destroyed.
No, warmed.
once it's warm, they have to have cold water to cool the data centers off. So they're going in a lot of places, and a lot of cities and townships are fighting against it right now.
I saw. Was it Van Buren?
Van Buren's got one right now. I know they tried in Berlin Township, and we
the
said
issue?
no.
What's the issue?
No.
The electrical consumption,
cost.
the water
the noise.
consumption.
The cost.
The cost of the water, we can't. So Berlin Township, I can tell you where we're at.
Because you're on the tax board, right?
Tax review board.
Tax
yeah.
review board, sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I just know because of that.
Yeah.
We would have to contract from Detroit to get that extra water. So the cost basis for us to and then recycle it, we can't handle it, which means we would have to do modifications.
Dumb question. How deep is groundwater?
Well, it depends on where you're at.
Oh, some ground has less water than others.
Yeah, you got to go. I mean,
wherever
you might have to
the
go
water
100
table
feet.
is.
You might have to go 200 feet.
100 feet.
No, I'm
Well,
just saying. I don't know.
It depends.
Depending on where you're at.
Yeah, you usually don't have to go that far. But again, it's how when you're going through that
And then
type
when they're
of water
sucking
supply.
it up, these large data centers are like using 100,000 gallons a day of water.
That's a lot of water.
And then the noise pollution because of the computers humming in there is the other factor that.
Have you noticed your electric bill going up in the past few
Yeah.
years? That's largely contributed to data centers because they use that much electricity. People don't understand how much electricity data centers use.
Wait. Hold up. So
If one goes in Romulus, I guarantee all of our bills around the area, especially in the immediate.
why would the Romulus data centers electric use impact
Because it's using so much
residence?
electrical that they have to now.
Oh, it's pulling from the grid.
It is in certain communities where they have the data centers, it's destroying the water pressure so much where they can't even really take a shower because the water pressure sucks that bad. In Texas, there's a couple communities where the water pressure sucks because they're just taking all the water pressure.
Because they're taking all the water.
They're taking all the electrical.
That's a lot of water.
It's
that's
a
a lot. I
lot.
mean, that's got to be a lot.
No, it's
of water.
like I said, it's getting to
Like,
the
that's-
point where people are like, no, if these keep on just coming up, like we're gonna have a real.
What is
problem.
the interesting? So
And that's why some people are saying like, you need to
is
stop doing
water
it.
the only cooling method?
So
It's
I just
fans?
that
Could
is
you do fan?
no
Yeah.
fans wouldn't do it.
Okay.
So I just ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Ask the quick
hey,
question.
chat.
Yeah.
You're using all our water. How can you help us not use all of our
So I just said, why are data centers causing electricity prices to surge? And the answer is, now you have to remember, how many data centers are there? A lot.
I have no idea.
There's really not. I mean, they just
Yeah.
started to come up. But data centers are already using 4 to 5% of all electricity in the United States.
4 to 5.
Yeah, and they're expecting 9 to 17% by 2030.
Okay. So so
AI workloads can cause a 10x more energy than normal consumption.
So like when you for example, how many times do you go to AI instead of Google now? To search.
it's me personally, I'm probably going to the only time I'll really go to Google now is if I'm trying to find a local business.
Yeah.
So
Every other general questions I will go
and that's
to.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's where the 10x number comes in at. So Google uses around on your typical chat search whatever Google uses around 10x
So
more energy. Than
it's
a
saying
Google
to
search does.
support all the utility companies must build new power plants, upgrade transmission lines, expand substations, and those costs are going to be spread across consumers, not data centers. So
And that's the
why.
part.
That's
and that's
the
the part
problem.
that.
That's the problem.
And that's the part
Yeah.
where so many people are. So one, you've got
I
these
agree.
data centers that are reaping the benefits, and the consumers are the ones paying. so
No,
not only are we
that's
paying
wrong.
for the
Yeah.
AI monthly subscription,
Yeah.
and then how many are these?
Why
government
should
grants?
that be? Who's is it? Lawmakers who decide who pays for that extra cost? I mean, could you?
It would be.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be the state.
Because I mean, think about that, dude. Like,
So
if you're coming through and I'm coming through and I'm gonna make let's say the cost goes up. Well, you could say, well, that would make AI 10 times more then make it 10 times more affordable. It's $20 a month. So if it was
So-
200, make that optional for the AI
Yeah.
users if they really want it that bad, and then the market will dictate just how popular it is. But if you're indirectly, because I just thought DTE was going up. I didn't realize that I'm paying for someone else's data center.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't really like that.
Well,
Not
that's why a
fan.
lot of people are ticked about it because these data centers are coming up everywhere, and they think, oh, well, we need them. Well, we need them because of how many people are just grossly overusing AI, right? Because I think,
Wow. So listen, I just in Ohio, the PJM grid, one of the hardest hit regions, the capacity prices jumped from $29 to $329 per megawatt day in just a couple of years. Data centers added $9.3 billion in costs in that market alone. That translates to monthly bill increases for households, and the structure prices increase are not just temporary, they're permanent.
So, hold up.
Utilities are planning a 1.1
So you're telling
trillion
me you're telling
in
me
grid upgrades.
That's a 10x increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone's that, I mean, that can't be that there's no way someone's DTE bill went from 300 to 3,000.
Well, that's a megawatt per day. So it doesn't mean that your prices went up that much.
Well, yes and no, because if you're using the same energy, then if you're using the same electricity, if you used one, mega
Understand.
whatever a month.
Is there a way? So I feel like your property is actually primed for this, Jerry. So now I see the understanding. This is interesting. You're familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect?
I don't know. If
It's just you don't know what you don't know.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
So this is me in this conversation right now. Like I was like, hey, who cares? But understanding now, that's kind of a problem.
Oh, it's a huge problem.
Like that's a very real. I didn't realize. I thought it was just like they were. I thought the noise pollution.
It's annoying.
Move,
Yeah.
right. Move, like, but
Well, here's I have a problem
if
with
we
that,
are
though.
paying for, why should the residents pay
that's
for
the
your
big problem.
expansion?
But don't we do that every time a new football stadium goes in?
I have no idea.
It's taxpayers' expense.
A football stadium?
Oh yeah, who foots the bill? Do you think
for,
the owner
for
does?
taxpayer for
Well,
the Detroit
there's-
for Comerica?
Yeah,
There's
Am I foolish
tax
to
breaks.
think? Am I
Yeah,
foolish
you're
to
foolish.
think to think Comerica paid for it?
yeah, you're really foolish.
Oh, am I really?
Yeah.
Go
Let
ahead.
me
Go ahead.
find
Run
out.
some more water. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay. Well, but while you're searching that up, I see now the appeal to solar. Solar is extremely expensive, but if it gets you quote off the grid,
No,
is that
honestly,
not,
the most effective.
is that not a solution?
Well, no,
No.
he's talking about on a personal,
yeah.
Oh,
because you're
no,
not doing nuclear.
The cost of
I know that's what you were going.
solar. Yeah, I apologize. The cost of solar. I checked on my house. It would literally take me almost 10 to 15 years to get my money back. That's not cost effective.
At current rates.
Correct.
So what if hypothetically your utility bill went up
Oh,
3x?
sure.
Now it's a 3-year, right?
Sure.
Or 5-year. So now it's a different because it's a different conversation. If your prices remain the same, then yeah, it's a 10, 15 year. But if let's say magically overnight it goes up 3x,
Yeah,
that's a different conversation. That's interesting.
and usually for
What was
stadiums,
the
a lot of them
what
are
was the
private.
what was the if you don't mind sharing, Jerry? What was the ticket for solar to power your house?
I think it was $75,000,
I was gonna say,
$80,000.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So you have to remember in the wintertime.
I thought I was going high with 50.
No.
I was like, that's
And you
well,
have to
you got a big estate though.
But you have to remember, even in the wintertime, with everything that I'm running, my most expensive bill is like $925 a month. That's my most expensive.
Wow.
My summer bills are usually around $3.25, somewhere in there.
That's
But you have to remember, I run the pond, so those are huge pumps. I got
see.
two running
I see.
9,000 gallons per minute. So I'm running
Wow.
15,000 gallons per minute.
where are the pumps at?
They're underground.
Oh, I was gonna say I've never seen.
Yeah. So the pumps are running the pond. We've got the hot water, the hot tub. I've got 1,800 square feet above the garage. It's either heated or cooled. I've got
Yeah, that's a lot.
3,250
That's a
square
lot
feet
to
of
heat,
house
yeah.
heated or cooled. I mean, it is. I mean, I hate saying it is what it is, but
And well,
it sucks.
that's kind of crazy. So I'm sure you could have financed $80,000 over.
But
Would it have been less?
Here's the other problem, though. Once you put those on, and I'm putting them on my roof, what happens when I need a new roof?
Do they
now
have to,
everything
do they
has
have to
come-
be on the roof?
Where else am I going to put them? In my
You
backyard?
got 10 acres.
Yeah, that's I don't know what's more. I was going to say ghetto, but that to me, that's just.
Ghetto? Oh, come on.
That's
He doesn't
just-
want a solar farm.
That-
So I looked
that-
it up.
Would
Come
you
on.
want a solar farm in your backyard?
How big are we talking?
I guess I probably could have hit it in the back,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't hide it because it's got to be open, so it can't be hidden by trees because I got to have sun hitting it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be in my open area
You know what
where the deer go.
You know what I have seen? Here's what I have seen. It's actually cool. Is I've seen like pergolas. So you build effectively a pergola or a pavilion.
Dude, that's one heck of a pavilion.
Put it on the.
But it's
put
more
it on the
cost
barn.
now.
It's the roof.
Put it on
you
the
know
barn.
What I'm saying? Well,
Put
that's
the
same
solars on the barn.
right, but it's so now you've got this outdoor pavilion, because I saw it at the Toledo Zoo. They actually had, like you're walking down this,
What
and
they
it's a
should-
shaded canopy, and the lean-to effectively are solar panels.
You know what I've found or what I've seen for good
They've had
ideas
that for years.
is doing parking lots. So parking lots with
Garages, you're saying?
no, like if you've got like a huge, because it's just a cement, just one, like if you go to the Detroit Zoo, for example, it's just one huge, just giant cement block.
Yeah.
Well, since it's already, there's no shade, so one, if you add overhangs and put like for each, almost like you do carports, you have carports, and then you put the solar on top of that, because the sun's just open cement field, so it's keeping the cars cooler, and you've got all the energy there.
See, in
So
Michigan,
it's a covered parking lot?
Yeah, essentially
That's
it's
substantial.
yeah.
It's expensive
I just
anyway.
I just don't think you're going to get the use here in Michigan. If I was in the Caribbean, if I was in Florida,
Yeah.
where you're getting
It's
that
not
hot
100% replacement. It won't cover 100% of your bill.
Well, here's the other kicker. It can only store up so much. So during my summer months,
That's a flaw. That's
Well,
a,
you can
that's
get-
a
the
you
flaw.
can
batteries can
batteries.
only hold so
That's a
much,
flaw.
right?
Can't you sell it back to the grid?
You can.
Pennies on the dollar.
Yes. So to answer
Man,
your
why is the individual always got to get hosed, dog? Man, that is such a racket.
So-
that's tough.
So
Comerica?
funding. I didn't do Comerica. I just did in total. So
That is such
the
a racket.
median for all stadiums across from 1970 to 2020, if you're talking what the median public funding would be, what's your guess?
38%.
Percentage or
Percentage.
public funding? Like how much the taxpayers paid for
Correct.
it? I mean, before this conversation, I would say 10, 15%.
So you were close if you flip your percentage. So 73% of stadium costs have historically been paid by taxpayers. Most recently, in the 2010s, it's 44%.
He's getting a little green.
Third is the average.
Wait, of what? The county or the city?
It's just saying government funded. So I'm not. It's just saying taxpayers. For example, $600 million for the Buffalo Bills.
Stupid.
$800 million for the Washington Commanders. Since 2000, there's been $19 billion in public funding for major league venues. So there you go.
Games and bread, right? Like that keep the people distracted.
Oh, that's what I tell people all the time. I
Games
hate-
and bread.
I don't watch many
Is
games
that the
now.
the Roman thing?
Yeah.
Like
Because that's what I said. It's modern day Roman
Stupid.
amphitheaters, man. I said it just keep the people happy, keep them fed, and
that is
it's like the dollar. Oh, I got $1 for you. It's right here. Oh, missed it. Oh, missed it.
it's infuriating. I'm not gonna be able to stop thinking about
Body language. Look at that.
I'm
You
not
think
gonna be able to stop thinking about that.
how much money you're paying?
Well,
It's socialism in effect,
why
essentially.
I'm not gonna be able to stop thinking about the
Data centers?
tax the data
Yeah.
centers and taxing I'd be equally upset of the Van Buren residents and then what scale, like does it charge everyone within a radius of it? Is it?
Yeah.
We don't know. Okay. All right. Well, cool. So I'm gonna go back to
Real estate.
our thesis. Well, I mean, like nobody needs it. I see. I didn't realize this. That was educational for me.
what we're here for.
We've got a. All right. So we got moving right along to another. We'll call it Reddit rundown. Maybe we should call it social media something. Unethical ways to make money. So I gotta pause this and let's see. Can I?
Mute.
Yeah, I got past the first part. Okay. You guys might be able to hear this.
First,
Yeah.
search your county's delinquent tax roll for properties with 5 or more years of unpaid taxes. These are ghost houses, owners who vanished, died without heirs, or simply walked away decades ago. The county publishes this list for free every single year, and most of you are too busy paying rent to notice a free house sitting in your own zip code. Now, file a quiet title action in your local courthouse for under $500. You're asking a judge to declare you the owner because no living person is claiming the dirt. Send a notice to the last known address. You You already know nobody's home. Next, wait for the notice period to expire. When no heirs show up, walk back into that courtroom and let the judge hand you a clean title by default.
This
You
is
just summoned a
entertaining, though.
six-figure asset out of thin air for the price of a used iPhone. Finally,
Moron
cover the back
posted this.
taxes for pennies
This
on the
is the
dollar
entire
and flip
page, the
property to a
entire
cash
page.
buyer for 100.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's funny.
Look, the entire page, Stickman Mafia. By the way, every vehicle starts with the F word. So, or every video starts with the F word. The fa is the F word. So don't watch it around your kids or meet it or whatever. But okay, so I mean, it's on the internet, so it's got to be true, right?
Must be.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm a
gotta
French
be.
model.
Yeah, right. Okay, so who would like to take this one? Is
I know-
that viable? Can I truly, get a home for the price of an iPhone? Talk me
So
through it.
I've never actually heard his method where you go do quiet title. I mean, I'm sure that's a thing, but I don't know.
Let's check chat
Yeah,
GBT. Let's
let's
get some
waste
more
some more
water. So, yeah,
but most people, what I know they do is they go to the tax sites and they basically pay their taxes for them and catch them up, and then they have to wait and so long or whatever, and then they can take over.
but
the
they
property.
still have to do, and that
But
is a
they pay
detail.
off the taxes. And his example, he didn't say anything about that, so I don't know if that's what
They're
he's
going to be
doing.
required to.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, I mean, even though that's possible and
I
plausible,
don't even know how it would work, because after you're delinquent for
They have a redemption period, right?
3 years, even if I own my house outright, if I don't pay my taxes, then the county and the state are going to, your city's going to say something. If once you don't pay your city or township, then those go to the county.
Right.
Then the state and the county or the state's going to start coming after you. After I think 4 years, if you're still not have paid the taxes, then it will go to a sheriff's sale, and somebody would.
4 years.
I think it's 4. I could
It
be wrong on
takes
that.
4 years.
Well, I could be wrong. Honestly, I know it's at least 3.
Holy cow!
So, but after that, then they sell it at a sheriff's sale. So I don't see where a house is going to sit there empty, because if nobody bids on it, let's assume nobody bids on it, and we'll use Detroit as an example, because there are times that nobody even wants the house for $100. Then it's owned by the city.
Then they do tax sales, right? Auctions.
They will,
or sometimes
yeah.
they just sit there.
Or
And
they
that's
just
one
sit
reason
there.
why taxes in Detroit are so high, because they miss out on so many property taxes.
Yeah, back in the day, like when the market was bad, I was at a seminar, and they had a huge map, like the size of the wall, of just the city of Detroit. And then they started putting little circles on, like, what is owned by churches. Because we were going to go through property that no taxes are collected on because of their status. So they put little circles on all the churches in Detroit,
digital map?
because they don't pay taxes. Let's go through things that are owned by federal. So any federal buildings, anything owned by the feds, let's put a circle on that. Then they did the state, then they did the county, then they did the city. And so you're getting all these little dots all over the place. Then they said, what is owned by the city of Detroit because of back taxes and nobody ever wanted them? And I'm not joking. About 70% of the map was just covered.
Wow. This is back in the crash.
That was back during the crash. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's why taxes were so
Yeah,
still
on a
are so
millage rate,
expensive.
Detroit's one of the probably is the most expensive city to live in, because I actually wanted to buy a house in Indian Village during that time.
Sure.
It was like an 8,000 square foot, beautiful, had 6 fireplaces,
Oh,
12
wow.
bedroom. I mean, the thing was just a mansion. It really was a mansion, but it was only $250,000.
Wow.
And so I called my insurance guy. I'm like,
Back at the time.
back at the day, I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
which is-
I'm
that's- yeah.
I'm thinking of buying an Indian Village, and what would my insurance be? He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, but yeah, I am. He's like, no, you really don't. You don't want it.
What was it? Well, I gotta know.
Then it was $12,500. But you're talking,
Man, that would have been more
20 years ago?
More than your mortgage, yeah.
oh yeah. And I said, how much is? I said, what would car insurance?
What would it be now, though? Right? Because they would go up every
Oh,
year.
I
It'd
can
be
only
25,000.
imagine. Well, my homeowner's insurance has more than doubled on the house I bought in 91 in 9 years ago.
21.
Yeah. No, I bought it 9 years ago now.
2000. Okay.
And then when I got to the auto insurance was.
Oh yeah, the auto. Yeah,
he
no,
laughed.
the
He
auto-
really did. He's
the
like,
autos.
and he said, here's the problem. We know your car is going to get stolen. It's just how often is it going to get stolen?
Yeah.
And here's our thought on the house. we know if it starts a fire, if a fire starts in that house, it's a total loss. That's how slow Detroit Fire Department was at the time. And so he goes, we have to calculate that in. He goes, to have a house built by the same standards that it's in now with the wet plaster and the ornateness and the hardwood floors and the fieldstone and everything. Yeah. He was like, we know it's going to be a complete loss, and it's going to cost us $3 million to rebuild it. So I'm like, guess I'll pass on the house.
That's when you buy the house, wait 5 years, have a homeless man burn it down, get a new one built, and then sell it.
Yeah, it's amazing the rackets you can do when you just use homeless people, right? Like, I mean,
establish that one.
That's crazy. That's okay. All right. Well, so the Sick Man Mafia, we're gonna call that one myth busted. All right. Let's do another one. So we've got.
I don't remember if I mentioned it, but vast majority of those 2 on tax liens are vacant land. So you're not getting a 6-figure house like that guy said.
Yeah, you would never make $150K sitting there.
Let's see.
Empty.
I don't want to say never. There might be the 0.001% chance. But
I'm trying to refresh. Let me refresh the page here. Hang on. And
yeah, my favorite thing that I see on social media a lot is when people get the one-off situations, and then they act like, "Oh, you can do this too," and this is what and this is what you need to do, and blah blah blah, and we can get this going where you can make $100,000 every flip. And I'm like, dude. No, you're not. It's just there's too much competition out there.
All right, so here we got Stickman. We skipped the intro part.
65. First, scrape municipal records for abatement liens, or weed liens. These are tiny $300 fines issued by the city because a commercial property owner forgot to mow the lawn or clear some trash. Go on and buy that $300 lien from the city at a tax sale. Here is the glitch. In many U.S. states, these municipal liens have super priority status. This means they legally sit above the $2 million.
If you go back and did you see where he said many states and he gave the map of the United States? I think there were 3 states. Go back like 5 seconds. You're
asking a lot.
Okay. Sorry, computer. Don't worry about it.
Normally there's
the bank has on the building. You don't wait for the owner to pay. You immediately file for a strict foreclosure based on your $300 debt. Their laziness is your fortune because the owner is usually a negligent out-of-state corporation.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm rooting for this stick figure guy. Like he's like this is like a hero's arc here.
If he was right, he'd be smiling.
Sent to a dusty PO box. When the deadline passes, your $300 lien wipes out the bank's $2 million mortgage entirely. The bank's interest
$2 million mortgage.
Oh my word!
The full deed to the property. You just traded the price of a pair of sneakers for a multi-million-dollar commercial asset because
he's got a commercial building back there.
So if this was true.
So someone says. So read the first comment. Oh my word! Might as well do this to yourself and clear some debt.
Like,
well, there were some shady doctors that did that.
Yeah.
Whenever I see social media people do this, it always
gives you cancer.
Well, that too, but makes me just do people think like, one, if I found a way to pay a couple $100 and make hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in his example, why am I then going to go make these social media posts trying to tell the world about it?
Right.
Am I making how much money am I making off these videos?
$87.
Seriously. So why am I going to, like, whenever I see these social media people doing it, like, that's how they make their money right there. They make their money because you're buying their course, you're listening to whatever, you're coming back. Like, they are not making money on doing what they're telling you. They're making money because you listen to them, pay them for their course, or like in some people's case, I need 100,000 followers because I need somebody to make phone calls for me so they can come back to me. Like it's I don't want to say a scam, but it's a scam. I mean,
if I think what I will say about, keep picking on him, but that Richard dude, I think it's unique. It's a unique arbitrage of labor. Mm-hmm. That you've got people, and if they're, I mean, how much is $10,000 in Africa?
A lot.
Like
that
4 years salaries or 3 years salary, maybe not that much. A year's salary, certainly.
So
certainly.
No, I mean, when I went to Africa, if you brought I brought a few $100 spending money, and that was, you should have seen the amount of stuff that I bought for like souvenirs and stuff and brought it back. And I'm talking like this is in a tourist town, and I could still buy, like, I kid you not, like a painting the size of this entire, like, hand painted, and I've got them hanging in my room. They're really, really cool. And it was like $50, $40. And I know this person spent just hours and hours of time. And I mean, they were painted on like old tablecloths. So I mean, it's like legitimate hand painted things. And I'm like, so for $10,000, yeah, that dude is.
Imagine. So he did a good job building a community. But imagine if they just called trying to get wholesale deals.
Well,
Like
that's what they do.
That's a legal. Well, that's legal though.
Yes.
Wholesaling's legal. But wholesaling is, I'm buying it from you, right?
He
like
tries to
I'm
wholesale.
buying it off of you. Right?
If the wholesale doesn't work, that's when he flips to his trust thing.
That's
So he tries to wholesale mostly, and that's where I think people, because there's a lot of videos of him posting about like, oh, realtors trying to say this is illegal when I'm wholesaling. I'm like, well, just because they're calling you out on what you're doing that's technically not illegal doesn't mean that you're doing things that
It's unethical.
legal.
wholesaling.
It's unethical.
Because
You're taking advantage of somebody that doesn't know.
Most of the time, that's correct. You can do wholesaling and it not be unethical or whatever. However, for the vast majority of cases, it is, because I'm typically, again, it's not every case, typically going to somebody who's underneath in their house, doesn't know what they're doing. They're older, more than likely. They don't know what their house is worth. Oh, your house is only worth $50,000. I'll give you $40 to walk away right now, when in reality the house is worth $100 and something. And that's where the unethical part comes into play, because they're not held to any certain set of standard. You can do whatever you want.
We can't do that.
We can't do that.
Yeah, we can't do that.
You were gonna say something. Sorry for that.
No, I was just saying that it's to me it's unethical. Can you do it in an ethical way? If you're willing to disclose, are you willing to disclose? Hey, Dave, it's really worth $100, but I want to buy it from you for $50, so I can sell it to Jordan for $70, and all three of us are going to make a little bit of money. You're going to say what? Well, why don't I just sell it to Jordan for $70, make another $20,000? So most people are not going to do it if you are upright with them and say, hey, it's really worth X amount. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they were wholesaling. I actually bought them and said, all right, hey, Dave, the house is worth $50. I'll buy it for $30 because you want to close by Friday. But you need to understand that the house, if I put it up on market, you might be able to get an offer for it. Most people can't come up with cash, right? So it's going to take you another 3 weeks to get 50, but I can get you 50 out of it. If Dave says, no, I want my money tomorrow, well, okay. I'm going to give you 30. Sure. I'm going to run title on it and give you 30 on Friday. And
Friday evening, I'm selling it for 50.
And I've done it, but I just want to make sure you're going to sign this document that says, I'm aware the property's really worth 50, but I want my money fast, so I'm going to wholesale it at a lesser price at 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I appreciate those people. So if you are out there and you want to close by Friday, give me a call.
Yeah,
but
right.
But it goes back to one of the things that, people view real estate agents or realtors, and especially when you're on social media, the consensus is we're slimy, we're scams, they don't know what they're doing, fill in the blank. But it's like, when you look on social media on these wholesalers page, it's like, oh, you guys are so smart. It's like, you do realize what you call real estate agents, the wholesalers are 10 times worse, yet you praise them, act like they were the best thing since sliced bread, when meanwhile they're the ones actually actively scamming people. And you're doing the exact same thing as a real estate agent, essentially. You're finding a seller and buyer and getting paid way more.
When do you think there'll be crackdowns on
It's already starting in Michigan. So I know last year when we were at legislative, there was a bill trying to get passed, and the states don't get involved until something really, or the government doesn't get involved until something really illegal starts to happen. Well, there was a group on the west side of the state. It really wasn't on our side, but they did like almost 200 wholesale units in a year.
Wow.
And it was. The vast majority were elderly people getting screwed. So this team, they hired a team. There was like 20, 30 of them, and they were going they were doing everything. They were doing a good job at what they were doing. However, I got the state's attention, and the state was like, wrong answer. This is highly predatory and illegal because you're screwing people who have no idea what you're doing. And it all goes back down to they don't need a license, and they aren't held by any standard.
What was there a ruling on that?
It's still ongoing. So it's not. The bill hasn't passed. But wholesalers are soon on the chopping block where you're going to need to be licensed because you're unlicensed, you're clueless. I mean, I'll go back to...
Well, there's already, if you wholesale some more than, 6?
Yeah.
What's
in a state, though?
5.
5. In
If you do
Michigan.
more than 5, you're considered a professional.
Yeah, and you need a license.
But even, I know, I mean, I can tell you our title companies won't even do wholesales anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not... And it's not that it's illegal, right? It's just slimy. No,
Really?
Everybody.
They won't do it.
There's like a 10-page document that everybody has to sign. And I'm not joking. It's like 10 pages. That it's not a warning, but it's
you're underselling your house.
Yeah.
You know this person's making money. You're completely okay with it. You just want out. Blah 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 blah.
But it's multiple pages. They just want, because the title company doesn't want their hands dirty.
Of course, yeah.
And so they're cleaning their hands of it, making everybody aware that this house is worth a lot more, and they're understanding that Jerry's not really buying it, Jordan's buying it, and Dave's okay with it. And Dave's okay with only getting $50,000 when he knows, or $30,000 when he knows it's worth $70,000, and Jerry's making his $20,000 on it as a middleman who really never even owned the property. He's just pushing paper. So no, I mean it's. And I don't blame them. That's why I said I don't do them. My office doesn't do them. If you want to do something like that, declare the snot out of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Dave's brother, sister, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, grandkids
Which I'm
coming back.
surprised more that hasn't happened when the kids or heirs find out about it. Yeah. Like imagine, my siblings would be furious, if like.
But at the same time, so let's say that that wholesaler made $20,000 or $30,000. I mean, at what point? How many? I mean, you got to be upwards of probably $50,000 to make it worth my while now, because now I got to go to court, and then even then I got to prove that your parents signed the document.
Were they in their right mind?
Oh, I see.
Now you got to go to proof.
Right
now you got to go to court and
see.
prove it because it's all legal. What you did was legal. What are you gonna?
You're saying to prosecute?
Yeah.
To press. Yeah.
So there's got to be enough meat on the bone for an attorney to take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why
what
the
are the
state
odds?
has to get involved once, and that's what happens. Is so many people complain until the state gets involved and says, "Yeah, this is an issue because we're doing it's happening so much." Going back to, like I said, the Richard Taylor thing, he's so spread out across. Now the good thing is he's doing a lot in Michigan. So if I see him do 5 in Michigan, now I can report him to the state.
Interesting.
Because he gave me a property. He's like, "Oh well, fine, you can report me," but it was in like Georgia. So I'm like, I have no really way of like checking the who's the mortgage on it, because I'll call the mortgage company right now. I don't even care because it's a slam dunk. I mean, the mortgage
But they wouldn't care. That's the problem.
Yeah, as long as you're paying the note, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't care.
All right, last and final one. Tell us our Reddit rundown. We have. How the heck is everyone managing these interest rates? Seriously, a 60 BPS increase in a month? What's a BPS?
Basis points.
Yeah,
I
basis
see.
points. Thank you.
What the heck? What the F? We were right in the middle of getting pre-approval, and it completely flipped our math and assumptions upside down. Affordability-wise, it basically knocked us out of competition for the price tier of a home we had been targeting. Our lender we spoke with recommended a type of convertible arm that could be converted to a conventional loan sometime in the future. I'm going to look more into it, but I hate the idea of an adjustable rate mortgage, as you should. Whatever the case, I have to imagine the other prospective buyers are in the same boat as anyone else, having to find a way through this. I know my buyers are. Yeah, I mean they've been shopping since it was mid-5s.
One thing you can do on something like that, and what I would recommend to my buyers, is have the seller pay my points down.
Buy it down.
Yeah.
Depending on how competitive the market
if it's
is.
a $300,000 house, and say it's worth the $310,000, and it's been sitting on the market for a little bit, offer them the $305,000, right? You can come up a little bit and say, I'm going to give you a little bit more, but I want you to pay $10,000, and I'm using numbers. I want you to pay $10,000 in my points to buy me down from a 6.5 down to a 5.
Yeah.
So it's
whatever it is,
Yeah.
and all those numbers are there.
That's
talk to your mortgage
really
company.
Great. That's
It's-
a really great technique.
It's typically
That's gonna
for
save you
every
a
percent
lot
you can
more.
get.
Tens of thousands.
A lot
Tens
more.
of thousands.
A lot more.
Typically, it's 1 basis point per percent. So
It is.
it's like
Yeah.
so like if you have a $300,000 loan, 1 basis point is 3,000, 1%, and it's usually about 1% of the interest rate too. So if you did,
Is there
That's
a,
gonna-
is there a
that's-
limit?
How much you can buy it down?
Yeah.
No. If you come up with the money, they'll
Wait, hang on. So if you put an extra 5% down, you can get a 0 or 1% interest loan.
I think there
but
is
the
a limit.
cost. No, but you have to remember they're gonna the charge to buy
is that
down
it's a
five.
around.
No. That and it's not. That varies every day. I mean, depending on the what rates are, your buy downs change every day, and that's why you have to talk to your really good mortgage rep to say, hey, what would it cost me today to buy down my loan to? And I'm just using a number from 6 to 6 3/4. He might say it's going to cost you, 0.75 or 2 points, whatever it is that day. I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be a different number. But you can buy down, and the more you buy down, that number is going to go up drastically now because the bank's going to be eating it, and they know that, and they know typically the average homeowner stays, and we've been talking, 5-6 years is the average.
That's where it gone up,
Since
yeah.
since COVID, the average homeowner is now staying 10 to 12 years.
Where I got it wrong, it's 1 point is typically, it does vary a little bit, but it's typically about 1/4%, not 1 full percent. So that's where
So
my math was.
1 point's going to get you 1/4%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 point of the purchase price.
Correct.
That's,
So you buy
that's-
300.
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's
so,
where I
so,
was-
That's why I'm like,
so,
yeah, no.
So to reduce it, a full interest point is 4%.
On a $400,000.
You're
$300,000
talking
house
12
is
grand.
12 grand.
But if you plan
So,
on
yeah,
staying,
so, right,
it's
yeah.
definitely worth pursuing. It may or may not work your situation.
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, instead of just having the seller come down $5,000, have them buy you $5,000 in points. That's 1% or
Like,
more.
It all
maybe.
comes down to, like what he was saying, how long are you staying in the house? Because if you know you're only staying it for a few years, probably better to take that lump sum up front and, do something with it. But if you plan on being there, I know I'm going to be here for a long time. Well, now it might be better.
My number's a 4 or 5 year. If I can get my that let's call it $5,000. If I'm
Yeah.
going to save 5,000 in a 5-year period of time, I'll do that.
Sure.
If it's going to take me 10 years to get my money back, forget that.
Yeah.
And there is going to be a point in time when your mortgage rep is looking at those numbers. He's going to say, well, it's going to cost you.
The break-even point.
Yep.
Yeah. he'll
Yep.
take
How long do you
it.
plan on staying? 7 years. What do you want your break-even point to be? And I always tell my mortgage reps when I was doing them, 4 years, 5 years,
4 or 5
tops.
years. Yeah.
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 If I can get my money back in 3, I'm happy. But
Yeah.
no more than 5.
Well, cool. So, spring is here, obviously, in Michigan, despite, maybe what the weather might tell you. And it's a great time to
List.
list. It's a great time to list. It's also a great time to get some of those pre-list items checked off, right? Like I got that cellar there in Allen Park. The concrete we don't want to have it flagged for replacement, so they're just going to
Fix it.
they're going to throw some,
Quick.
well, they're not going to replace
Grind it.
They're not going to, they're going to grind it, put some, what's it called, floating
Yeah.
cement. Yeah. So, leveler, right?
Self-leveling.
Self-leveling, just that gets the inspector off your back without, because they
Having
come
to
in and they
replace.
see a level change, they're going to say, boom,
Yeah,
replace that.
just so you know, when it comes to, at least I know with Southgate, because again, every city's going to be a little bit different. Southgate, you can do the, like the grinding and sanding and stuff, and the quickcrete to ramps on the driveway, but if you do it you can't do it on the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
It's it's still a quote unquote tripping hazard to them.
I see.
Because I tried grinding and leveling cement and doing the quickcrete and kind of just leveling it off, and they came back and flagged it still. So just a helpful hint.
Good old Southgate.
I know you like Southgate, so
I mean, it's
I'll
all
let you know.
right. It's fine. It's okay. All right, guys. Well, if you want to list, obviously we can help you out with that. Let you know what your home is worth, what you will net from it after the sale, and then also help you find a newer house, maybe somewhere else. If you want lower taxes, Monroe County is big. Van Buren sounds like, unless you want a data center. And did it get approved? Do we know?
I think it is.
So yeah, it's the initial. There's 3 of them going in.
3
In the it's one. Like it's one, but there's like 3 individual data centers.
We gotta talk about that after parade. Like that is crazy. But appreciate you guys following. Leave any comments. We'll reply to them, and look forward to getting you guys listed or sold or bought, whatever you need. See you next time, next week. Talk to you soon.